Want more self-control? The Stoics had habits for that. Simple, daily practices to help you stay calm, focused, and unshaken. In this video, we're breaking down those habits so you can build real discipline from the inside out. Simple routines, clear thinking, quiet discipline. Welcome back to the soft discipline, where we don't just talk discipline, we build it. Habits that stick, focus that lasts, and the kind of calm that doesn't crack under pressure. If you haven't seen the part 1 yet, click the link above to start from the beginning. Now let's get into it. Virtue over pleasure. Character before comfort. Imagine being offered something you deeply want, maybe attention, maybe status, maybe comfort. Now imagine pausing and choosing character instead. That's what the Stoics meant by choosing virtue over pleasure. They weren't against enjoyment, they were against enslavement. They believed that wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance were the highest good. Not dopamine, not indulgence, not applause. And when those two roads meet, virtue or vice, the Stoic doesn't hesitate. Because in the long run, comfort fades, but character compounds. Mindful speech. Speak with intention. Words are power. They can diffuse a fight, or start one, heal a heart, or shatter it. That's why Stoics treated speech like a weapon you never draw without reason. Seneca said, "Speech is the mirror of the mind." Before they spoke, they asked, is it true, is it necessary, is it useful? That filter? That's self-control in action. You don't just blurt, you build. You make every word count, because you've done the harder thing first. You controlled your mouth before it controlled you. Purpose over impulse. Think, then act. You're bored, so you scroll. You're anxious, so you eat. You're triggered, so you lash out. That's impulse. The invisible hand that controls more people than they realize. But the Stoic trains himself to pause and ask, does this serve my purpose? Purpose isn't about grand vision boards. It's about having a clear internal compass. If it aligns, proceed. If it doesn't, walk away. Because real power isn't in giving in to every craving. It's in knowing when to say, not today. Self-control is choosing what matters over what tempts. Self-awareness. Watch your mind. You can't control what you aren't aware of. Your thoughts? They're constantly narrating your life, but most of us don't even realize we're listening. The Stoics were obsessed with self-awareness, watching their mind the way a guard watches the gate. What belief is driving this reaction? What story am I telling myself? Is this thought serving me? It's not about judging yourself. It's about becoming conscious of your patterns, so you're no longer ruled by them. Because once you see it clearly, you can change it powerfully. Embrace impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. That moment of joy, it'll pass. That crushing heartbreak, it will too. Everything is temporary. Everything is changing. The Stoics knew this, and they leaned into it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "All is ephemeral, fame and the famous as well." When you realize that nothing lasts, not praise, not pain, not even you, it does something strange. It makes you calm, present, aware. Why overreact to what's passing? Why chase what you know will fade? Embrace impermanence, and you'll stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Anticipate insults. Expect social friction. Someone's going to say something that offends you. Someone's going to misunderstand you. Someone's going to insult you. The Stoic doesn't get surprised by this. He prepares for it. Epictetus told his students, when someone criticizes you, ask yourself if it's true. If it is, change. If it's not, ignore. That's it. No meltdown, no grudge, no drama. Expect that people won't always be kind, and you won't always be liked. Anticipating this makes you unshakable in the face of insult, because you've removed the element of surprise. Train the will, strengthen inner resolve. You don't develop strength by talking about it, you build it by lifting weight. The same is true for your will. The Stoics didn't just believe in theory, they practiced daily discipline. They challenged themselves to resist temptation, endure pain, and keep going when it got hard. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity." Why? Because you don't grow willpower unless you train it. Every time you push through discomfort, resist a craving, or stay true to your word, you're building inner muscle. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't fold under pressure. Most people click off by now, but not here. At the Soft Discipline, we don't just chase motivation, we build a system, a mindset. And if you're still watching, you're already ahead of 90% of people. Minimalism of thought. Simplify mental noise. Have you ever sat down to think and ended up drowning in thoughts? What if this happens? Should I have said that? What does it mean? Your mind becomes a cluttered desk. And the Stoic solution? Clean it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, if you seek tranquility, do less. Or rather, do what's essential. That includes your thoughts. You don't need 100 ideas racing at once. You need clarity, focus, simplicity. Minimalism of thought is self-control for your mind. It's asking, which thoughts serve me, and which can go? When the noise fades, discipline rises. Stay present. Live this moment. We live everywhere but here. You're walking but replaying yesterday's mistake. You're eating but stressing about tomorrow's meeting. And that means you're not really living. You're time traveling through anxiety and regret. The Stoics train themselves to stay fully present, to feel each step, hear each word, taste each meal. Because now is the only place life happens. It's the only place you have control. When you anchor yourself in the present, urges lose urgency. And self-control becomes a state, not a struggle. Practice temperance. Balance desires daily. Imagine eating your favorite food until you feel sick, or sleeping all day until you hate your own laziness. That's the problem with unchecked desire. It turns pleasure into punishment. Temperance is the Stoics' word for balance, not total denial, but intentional moderation. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Discipline doesn't mean giving up everything. It means knowing when enough is enough. Because the sweet spot? It's rarely found in excess, but always in restraint. Practice restraint. Resist instant gratification. Scroll, buy, eat, escape. We live in a world built for impulse, but the Stoics knew, the easier the pleasure, the weaker the grip it has on you. That's why they practiced restraint. You want to react with anger? Pause. You want to reach for distraction? Breathe. You want to indulge again? Wait. Every time you delay gratification, you're proving something. You are not your urges. You are the one who chooses, not the one who's controlled. Detach from ego. Let go self. The most dangerous voice in the room is often your own. Why didn't they respect me? Don't they know who I am? I deserve better. That's ego talking. And the Stoics saw ego for what it is, a trap. It inflates your pride, overreacts to insult, and demands to be the center. But real power? It's humble. It doesn't need applause to act wisely. It doesn't collapse under criticism. Detach from ego, and you stop reacting from insecurity, and start acting from inner strength. Reframe hardship. Pain builds power. Finally, let's talk about pain. Not just surviving it, but reframing it. The Stoics believed pain isn't punishment, it's potential. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That heartbreak, that failure, that loss, you can curse it or use it. Self-control isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about learning how to turn it into fire. Because when you reframe pain, you don't just endure it, you transform through it. So there you have it, every ancient tool for modern mastery. Not abstract ideas, not theory, but practical, powerful habits for taking back control of your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and ultimately, your life. This is what Stoicism offers, not escape from life, but an entrance into it. Fully aware, fully grounded, and fully self-led. Now the question is, which one will you actually use today? That's where change begins, not in knowing, but in doing. If this helped you see yourself more clearly, or act with more intention, stick around. At The Soft Discipline, we build better habits from the inside out, one mindset shift at a time.